Hello, Joe Heller here with Dana Bee Farm, and today we're out in the field and we got us a new package of bees from our supplier, and we're going to install these. This is a 3-pound package. Now this cage here is called a bee bus, and you've maybe never seen this type before, but this is something new and improved, I guess. And it's the same principle though as the old screened box that you're used to seeing. The only difference here is this a little bit more user-friendly, I guess. It's easier to get the can out. Top just snaps off like so. And the can, there's a couple of finger holds there to get the can out. The old boxes, you would have to pry the can out of there. Sometimes it get kind of hard to do. And also, you can inspect your queen when you buy your bees. She's right here in the top, face down, so when you go to pick your bees up, you can inspect the queen real easy without having to. She's usually suspended down inside there, so these queens are real accessible, so it's easier to see your queen when you buy it. But it's the same principle, and what we're going to do is we're going to put these bees in our hive. All right, the first thing we need to do is we're going to take this queen out and make sure she's good. She's good. She's raring to go. So then what I usually do is I always have the old sugar water, and I'll spray them with some sugar water. Calm them down a little bit. Let's take the top off of this hive. Let's take some frames out, like so. Then I'll take my queen. Now the queen has a cork in the candy end. You need to try to get that cork out of there. This cork isn't coming out very easy. There we go. And then the candy's in there. I'll take a toothpick and I'll poke a hole in that candy to make it easier for the bees to get her out of there. Like so. Now what happens with the queen is this is kind of a time release method. You can't just turn the queen loose in the hive, because what will happen, these aren't necessarily the bees that came with the queen. In other words, they pour these bees in these cages and then they just put any queen in there. So they have to get kind of used to her. So we can't just put her in there, turn her loose. So with the candy, of course, it takes 2 or 3 days and they'll eat through there, and then the queen will come out and everybody will be friends. So now you can do this any number of ways. You can suspend her in between the frames. You can take a rubber band and hold it in there, maybe. Different ways to do it. What I always do, I just lay her in the bottom. Face up, screen side up, just like so. Nothing to it. Now you get your bees and you jar them a little bit so they fall to the bottom. Take your can of sugar water out of there, like so, and then we just pour our bees in right on top of the queen. Like so. A few left in there. And then put the box down here by the front where they can go inside. stragglers. And everybody's in there on top of the queen. Now what we want to do spread them out a little bit, and then we'll put our frames back. There's really nothing to this at all. It's just a matter of putting them in there, and it's like so. And everybody's happy. All right, now we got them in there. Let's put our outside cover on. You guys get out of the way. And the top's on there. Put our outside cover on there. And feeder here, I'm going to give them some sugar water until they get going, get some comb built. It's like that. I'll come back in about 3 days and make sure the queen is out. If she's not out, then I'll go ahead and let her out. There's a if they haven't ate through the candy, I'll go ahead and let her out, and we'll see what happens after that. But that's how you put bees in there. And there's any number of ways to put bees in a hive, and that's one way. And there's many different ways, but most of the ways that you've seen, some people just place the box inside there and put the top on, wait a few hours for the bees to come out themselves, and that's one way to do it. There's any number of ways, but this is one way you do it. This is more or less the field expedient method, and a lot of commercial beekeepers, this is what they do. They don't really mess around with suspending the queen a whole lot. They'll just kind of throw her in the bottom and pour the bees in there. So I'm Joe Heller with Daily Bee Farm, and that's how we install a package of bees. Thank you.